for competition. It's time for 5 questions. 3 days in just man 95. Number 5 will always look.
5 questions brought to you by ACR Powder Coating and Wheel Repair. Turn the ordinary into something extraordinary with hydrographics. Visit acrpowercoating.com to find out more. PG has today's 5 questions as we wrap up a Thursday show. What do we got?
All right, David Montgomery.
Oh, time out, real quick. I wanted to address a text message that I got a little while ago. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. So, this text message said, Mike, stop lying. No one watches Marshall basketball. That's not true. I went to West Virginia. Marshall's in West Virginia. It's one of our big rivals. We actually played against them once a year. I watch a lot of the games that Marshall plays in just because I was down there for so long. So, guys, stop trying to outsmart the room. What do you think, I'm making up that I saw the guy play college band? Why would I make that up? What purpose do I have to make up that I saw Hassan Whiteside, of all players, play college ball? I remember him at Marshall. He was just a tall, lanky dude, and West Virginia used to whip up on them.
Yeah, I think... No, I mean, the guy does have a point, though. No one really does watch Marshall basketball.
Well, why would I lie about it?
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that you are, but no
He's
one
better than that.
outside of West Virginia watches
I have
Marshall
ties
basketball.
to why I would be watching.
Right. But other than that, there's no reason for someone to watch Marshall basketball.
Not at all.
When was the last time they made the tournament? Rutgers and Marshall basketball. They have some drought.
I got that text message a while back. I wanted to address it. So.
All right, David Montgomery told MLB Network Radio that if Pat Gillick spends an entire year or two close with Ruben Amaro, I think he'll have a very good idea as to how effective Ruben is, and collectively a decision will be made. Basically, they bought Ruben Amaro Jr. some time here, cut him some slack with Gillick next to him. Do you accept this? That Amaro's going to be here for at least another year or two?
Do I accept this, meaning that I think that's what's going to happen?
Do you think this is a good idea?
Well, I don't think it's a good idea at all. No, I think Amaro has already been given enough time to try to, number one, build a World Series champion. Number two, try to keep it. If you try to build a World Series team and it turns into this, you did a lousy job.
7 years ago, yeah.
You did a lousy job. If what you started was to continue a World Series team and what you ended up with was the worst team in baseball, you've already been given the opportunity.
I mean, now he has a babysitter, though. A very experienced Hall of Fame babysitter.
I mean, realistically, it's back to when Gillick was the GM and Amaro was the assistant GM.
Really?
They're not fooling anybody. This is, hey, we're loyal. We want to give you a job and follow my lead. But you've been given a team already. 7 years later, you got a team that was a World Series team, and now you got a team that stinks.
Well, maybe they should hire a guy outside of the organization, have him come in here and just clean house and just get rid of everybody. That's where we're headed.
Well, that's what they did with Gillick. When they brought Gillick in here, they brought a guy from outside the organization, and they finally cleared house.
That's probably where we're headed.
That's what they need to do.
All right, number 2, Greg Popovich came out and said, I'm not the Marshawn Lynch of the NBA. Bill Belichick once said it's on to Cincinnati continuously in his press conference this season. Is there a double standard here? Popovich is brilliant. Belichick is brilliant. Marshawn Lynch, unprofessional.
Well, I don't think if Marshawn Lynch just would have answered the questions and answered questions in a very monotone, uninterested way, he would be getting criticized as much. He chose to go out there and use the same answer over and over again.
That's what Bill Belichick did with Cincinnati after that Kansas City loss, right?
Yes, he did, but he doesn't do that every single time.
No.
So Marshawn Lynch chooses not to talk to you, period. He was only out there because he had to. It's not like Belichick says, hey, we're on to Cincinnati, we're on to Cincinnati, we're on to Cincinnati, we're on to New York, we're on to Miami. He doesn't say that every single week.
Although he probably would if he could.
Look, I'm not criticizing guys because they don't want to talk to the media. Not everybody feels comfortable doing it. But you got to give me more than what you gave me, and you can't give shout-outs to this guy and shout-outs to that guy, and you can't answer the question of where can I buy your apparel. That's showing me that you're not as nervous as you're trying to make it out to be.
I think Popovich does it just to be a jerk, right? He just is a jerk to be a jerk. Because the fourth quarter interview is kind of stupid.
Well, I think there's a part of it where they're just like, dude, this is really a pain in my ass. I don't feel like doing this, but I know I have to. At least he gives you something. Something's better than nothing, and something's better than giving you a answer of, you know why I'm here. He doesn't say to the sideline reporter, hey, Greg, what do you need to do on defense? You know why I'm here.
Agreed.
He might give you an answer that he doesn't feel like giving you, or no answer inside of an answer, but he doesn't say something like that.
All right, question number 3. Earl Thomas is having surgery to repair a fully torn labrum in his left shoulder. This is now the third member of the Seahawks defense, third member of the Legion of Boom. Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman both injured during that game. Do you have a different opinion on Seattle's performance now that we know about these injuries?
Well, I think we knew they were kind of hurt going into the game, number one. Number two, I don't think they played all that poorly except for late in the game. I mean, they kind of had the breakdown late in the game. Sure, I think you could certainly ask, hey, did that have a factor in that game with them being banged up a little bit, cause, that 10-second deficit in the fourth quarter? I think they're still one of the best defenses we've seen in the last 15 years, probably since the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Seattle's defense last year may be the best defense we've seen. This might be the second, maybe third or fourth best. Those Tampa Bay Buccaneers defenses in the 04, right around then. But this is, I don't look down on these guys any. I think a lot of people just say, oh, we overrated this defense. I don't know if that's the case.
All right, question number 4.
They got Tom Brady on the other side,
On being,
it's pretty good.
Yes. On the topic of being overrated, recruiting, the rankings were released today. Alabama number 1, USC number 2, Florida State number 3. Is signing day really and these rankings overrated in your opinion?
Yes and no. Yes, because it's so hard to project what an 18-year-old kid's going to be down the road. But, hey, most of the teams that have high rankings in these things are usually pretty good. Florida State, the usuals, Alabama. So, yes, they're getting them right, it seems like.
All right, Sixers signed Tim Frazier to a 10-day contract. This was after Larry Drew's 10-day contract expired. What's your opinion on the 10-day contract in the NBA?
Hey, give me a 10-day run, see what I got.
You're fired.
You're fired. They should do that in baseball too. Hey, you get a 7-day contract. You get a week with the team, little reliever. Tim Drew, Penn State. There you go. That's all I know about him. I did not watch him play in college. Hassan Whiteside, by the way, as a freshman, the year they played West Virginia, I remember that game. West Virginia beat him 68-60 in Huntington. That's our show. Thanks to everybody. Keith Law on tomorrow. That's 5 questions. Take care.